Hey guys, welcome on back to Chefs of Anime. I'm Vince.
I'm Taylor.
And we're here today to start off this wonderful new book that we just got in the mail. It's called The Ultimate Final Fantasy XIV Online Cooking Book, The Essential Culinary Guide to Hydaelyn. This is fantastic. I've been waiting for this forever. I got this on pre-order. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, and I do play Final Fantasy XIV since the beta, and I'm just looking to dive right into this. What about you? What's your experience with Final Fantasy or Final Fantasy XIV, Taylor?
Final Fantasy XIV, not at all. I have unfortunately never played that. I have played a couple of Final Fantasy games. I am familiar with the universe a little bit. I've of course played the classic, everyone's played it, Final Fantasy VII. I played a little bit of 8, and then of course Final Fantasy IX.
So, is that your favorite?
Yeah, I say Final Fantasy IX is probably my favorite. I'm weird like that though, apparently.
I think mine is 6, which you probably don't. It's like the Sprite version. 3 in Japan, 6 in the States, whatever. But we're gonna look into this book. We're gonna introduce the book. We're gonna kind of see what it's all about. And so if you like that kind of stuff, or you'd like to see what we cook from this, make sure you go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And so let's get right into it.
Let's go.
As I go ahead and open up the first parts of it, this looks great. This looks fantastic. It's wonderfully colored. It's got really great, just its presentation is lovely. So like a lot of pictures.
Very high quality pictures.
Very high quality. It reminds me a little bit of if you've ever played Final Fantasy XV. It reminds me a lot of the pictures, the photos. I've discovered a new recipe, as Ignis would say. Taylor,
yes.
About this next part right here.
So this is going to be our contents. This is going to be outlining each and every different kind of spot on the book. On there we are going to have breakfast, appetizers, breads, soups and stews, main dishes.
After that section of your contents, we see a foreword from the one and only Yoshi-P, which is, if you don't know who Yoshi-P is, he's the producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV, and he does do a little bit of a letter to all the people who bought the book. And I'm gonna go ahead and read that right now, because if you've ever seen Yoshi-P at any of the live letters, you know how emotional he can get and how that community really responds well to his just everything. Yoshi-P is our Lord and Savior of Final Fantasy. So this is what he says. He says, "Thank you for your interest in this book. Herein you'll find recipes for dishes that appear in the video game Final Fantasy XIV. Our development team goes to great lengths in devising the recipes to be featured in the game by researching various cuisines across the globe, arranging those to match the world settings in Final Fantasy XIV, as well as considering what types of ingredients and seasonings would be used for them in-game. In this book, the recipes of those in-game dishes have been arranged so that they can be reproduced using real-life ingredients and seasonings. It's been a truly interesting endeavor, and you'll be sure to savor the delicious flavors in every dish. So, I hope that you, our Warriors of Light, will enjoy trying your hand at crafting them. On a final note, for those of you who may thought of this as just another cookbook when you picked it up, why not take this opportunity to jump into the world of Final Fantasy XIV, the critically acclaimed MMORPG. I'd be very happy if this inspires you to give that game a go." By Yoshi-P. And if you can kind of see right here, there's this little adorable picture of Yoshi-P right there. In this next section, we're going to read the introduction, which is a conversation between a Namazu and a Moogle. I'll be reading the Namazu.
I'll be reading the Moogle.
Yep, and so let's just dive right into it. Welcome to my greatest creation yet. This must be the very start of your journey through the wonderful world of cooking. A tasty adventure for all, yes. But I must introduce myself. I am Gourmand Gyohan, the soon-to-be famous Namazu culinarian. Back in Doro Ilo, we Namazu are hosting a great festival for all to come and enjoy. You will, yes, perhaps you'll visit and spend lots of money. Yes. You see, the festival is necessary if we are to avoid calamity and save our people. And a festival without the best food around is no festival at all. I decided to become the best cook around and strive for culinary greatness. But out of the blue, I was visited by greatness themselves. You know, the Warrior of Light, yes. I was working on a new cooking collaboration and requested Saigetsu Send someone to assist. To my surprise, the Warrior of Light shows up at my campfire offering a hand. They did what I asked to help me create a great dish of Namazu stylings, and the results were still mediocre. A disappointment. Far less disappointing than all my previous attempts, and the components the Warrior of Light contributed were delicious, inspiring. After they left, I decided that my proud Namazu training would never make me the gourmand I wanted to be. So I departed on the first ship crossing the Ruby Sea. I was seeking the Bismarck, a great restaurant where the Warrior of Light first trained, but the ship I boarded ended up in a very cold, freezing Corthus.
Were you going to introduce your co-writer, Kupo? Or am I going to have to save you like I did when you were frozen fish in the Highlands? I am Mogria, a master of the meandering. I was part of the Mogmenders, but they're always getting their hands dirty. I'm far too busy seeing all the great sights across Heidelin, and none are greater than the places the Warrior of Light has been. I had gotten word that they were seen in Ishgard, so I was on my way when I came across 2 fish legs sticking out of the snow. I was surprised to find a Namazu all the way out here, almost frozen solid, and I took him to Monkholm to thaw out. Once Gyohan was warm enough to talk, I learned his cooking journey and just how bad his sense of direction is, Kupo.
You do the Kupo so well. No, just joking. Indeed, I was certain I was heading in the correct direction, but Mogria saved my fins from certain disaster. She's quite talented at getting around, you see, so I asked if she could take me to the Bismarck, to which she replied, Kupo, I'm already late for my Warrior of Light visit. Another time, Kupo. I was shocked, floored. What a coincidence that I was seeking the very same person.
I do not sound like that. But it's true, we have the same admiration for the Warrior of Light and realized our goals are the same. Gyohan dreams of being a great chef following in the legend of the Warrior of Light, and I want to go to every locale that they have graced, making us the perfect combo, Kupo. So I grabbed my sketchbook and Gyohan a skillet, and off we went. This book is the result of our masterful cooperation, and we hope you enjoy the amazing food and the images from all the places our hero visited, Kupo.
Yes, and please visit our festival, Washoy! In the rest of the book are location details that talks about all the main parts throughout the expansions, and then ingredients guide just in case you don't know what is in just any of the dishes. So they go over some things like furikake. They also go over with miso, nori, unagi, just all these different types of things if you're not used to it. It's very easy and very readable. Here we have breakfast, we have tons and tons of different items where you essentially will see the dish on the left side, how it's supposed to be created, and then finally we'll have the recipes on the right side. So if we look at Call right here, really nice pictures, very pretty as far as presentation is concerned, and a lot of the how-to section is simple and easy to follow. The directions, pretty seamless. As we go through the rest of the book, we'll also find desserts, and then finally at the end is this really cool section where it has different drinks. So X potion, nobody uses potions anymore in Final Fantasy, but if you wanted to try an X potion or you wanted to try any of these other drinks, some of these are alcoholic, some of these are non-alcoholic. You'll find a lot of similarities to like real cocktails in here. And then finally at the end is this really cool part. This is a dietary guide, which will have things like vegetarian, gluten-free, lactose, and just basically ways to substitute. So I found that very like...
It's very considerate.
Yeah, it's very considerate. And in fact, Mog says this one section in Dietary Considerations.
They aren't refined like me.
Yeah. Oh, but not that part.
During our travels, we learned that many individuals have specific limitations to what they can eat. It is important to make adjustments and substitutions so everyone is able to enjoy the feast. Namazu, for example, don't handle tea very well, Kupo. And other Muggles don't like eating things that aren't Kupo nuts. They aren't refined like me.
So I find that like just really nice that they went ahead and decided to like give some of that insight and just like acknowledgement that people don't eat everything.
Very thoughtful.
Yeah, it's very thoughtful. If you haven't had a chance yet, you should get this book. This book is currently on back order right now, but at the time of this recording, they may have some more in stock, but if you are interested to see any of these cooked, please check us out here. As we wrap up this video, we're gonna do a quick little Q&A about things that we like about Final Fantasy XIV, and since Taylor has never seen it or played it before, I'm gonna show him some pictures and some races and job classes and things like that to see what he would like. Here on my iPad, I have all these different pictures, and you'll see them on the screen at the bottom. But
who knows? Maybe he'll get me into it.
Yeah, maybe it could happen. It could happen. My FC is always looking for great people on Primal Behemoth. It's a joke. And so we have Rogadin, Ara, Hrothgar, Elazin, humans, or Hewer, would be the Highlander Midlanders, Makote, and then the lovable potato, Lalafels. So Taylor, just by looking at these different races, which one would you say that you would play? Now they're all customizable.
Of course.
So which top two stand out to you?
Probably, if I were going to go for a top two, it'd probably be either Highlander or the
Makote.
Makote.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
All right, you're not as cursed as I am. I play a Hrothgar. Totally cursed. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty good. I actually started off as a Makote and then changed to Hrothgar because I just thought it was funny being a specific class as a Makote. Okay, so those are your top two. Which one is your least favorite?
I said the Lalafell.
No offense.
Sorry, no offense.
No offense.
That or the, what is it, the Elazin?
Elazin, yeah.
Yeah, they just look like edgelords.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. In our last section of the video, we're going to go ahead and introduce Taylor to all the different job classes pre-Endwalker expansion and see which one he likes. Now, for those of you who don't know, in Final Fantasy, there are 3 different types of classes. There could be your tanks, your healers, and your DPS, which are damage pew pew pew. For those of you who are curious, like I said, I play a Hrothgar, but I play a Paladin, which is my main tanking class. My healing class is Astrologian, and then I switch off somewhere between Samurai and Ninja as far as my DPS classes go. So Taylor, he has no idea about any of these, so I'm going to kind of give a small, tiny introduction for the sake of the video. But in the upper left-hand corner, we have a Dark Knight, which is a tank, the two-hander sword, based off of the Berserk anime. We also have the Dragoon, who's supposed to be the killer of dragons, so to say, with a big spear. We have a Scholar, which is a healer with a fairy as its Navi. Hey.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Black Mage.
I know.
Pretty simple. We have a White Mage. Next, we have our Machinist, all about guns, robots, really cool flamethrower. Samurai, pretty self-explanatory. Monk, and then basically a Gunblade from Final Fantasy VIII. Yep. Mm-hmm. So that's our top section. On our bottom section, we have Dancer. We have our Red Mage, which uses a combination of light magic and dark magic. We have an Astrologian, or Astrologian, or Astrologian, or Astrologicologian. Tarot cards, really.
Okay.
We have a Ninja, self-explanatory.
Yep.
We have a Bard, which is the bow and arrow, musician, singer, buffs people.
Yep.
Warrior, which is another tank class. And then finally, we have our Summoner, summons different elementals, like Ifrit, Garuda, Titan.
Okay.
And a Paladin. And then our Blue Mage, which is the class that isn't acknowledged in Final Fantasy XIV.
Gotcha.
It's like the play class that you just play around and mess around with. But out of those so far, what do you think seems to be your top 3?
I mean, I'm gonna have to jump and go Machinist first.
Okay, fair, cool.
That is my kind of wheelhouse.
Okay.
I did like
the Gunblade?
Yes.
Okay.
That seems like it'd be a fun thing to kind of understand and learn. Mm-hmm. And then probably, I mean, it's somewhere between the Red Mage and
the Dark Knight.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So we got 2 tank classes. We've got a DPS class, and we've got another range DPS class. Good. Awesome. So those are his suggestions. You heard mine. Our last part that we're going to do here is the next 2 that are coming up. These are job classes and Endwalker. Which one looks cooler? The Reaper, which is a DPS class, or the Sage, which is a healing class?
I mean, they do both look pretty cool, but just for the scythe alone, I'm gonna have to say Reaper.
Yeah, Reaper too. And then finally at the end we have what we call the Scions. The Scions are this, not say secret group, everybody kind of knows who they are, but they're basically the people that you are a part of as the protagonist to save the world.
Okay.
So I'm just showing him a picture of some of the Scions from the Endwalker poster. And here we have Thancred. We also have Alize and her brother Alphino. They're twins. We also have, ignore this guy, this is Xenos, he's the bad guy. We have Y'shtola, who used to be a priest or healer turned mage. Next we have Urianger. He's a healer or somebody who really kind of is like this, looks into the science of the magic, trying to make connections and trying to understand it. We have Tataru. She's basically the Scion's bookkeeper, glorified accountant.
Okay.
Makes everybody's amazing gear. Like you need somebody who has like who has the hands, the crafter of their group. Estinian, he's super edgelord, communes with the dragons, like he just totally all about them. And then we have Gara Tiha, which is one of the main characters in the last expansion. So, ignoring everybody else I haven't talked about, who would you say seems like somebody you could be like, hey, okay, I might like this person. Two, we'll do two.
Two, okay. First.
Urianger. He always speaks in old, like, Shakespearean English, just saying.
That's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then for the second, that's a difficult one because I don't know much of their stories, their backgrounds yet.
Yeah.
But possibly
Alphino.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Yeah. Well, guys, that's another episode of Chefs of Anime. If you like all the types of stuff we talked about today in this book, make sure to look at future content that is coming out very, very soon. One last special thanks to Walking Dog Music for their DMCA-free and copyright-free music on the episode. And once again, I'm Vince.
I'm Taylor.
And we're the Chefs of Anime. Have a good night.